who's impressed you the most?
Okay, so I made a list of three. I was thinking about this last night because it's kind of tough. Offensive line as a whole, you can kind of tell the units going, but in camp it's hard for me, depending on certain angles, to really get a look on like every player. It's hard to watch all five. But I have three guys that I think have done a good job in camp and obviously have kind of won their jobs. So I'll start Arion Terracery. He's done a really good job in camp. He's going against two of the best edge rushers in the league, and he's held his own pretty well. And consistently after camp, he'll be out there working with Will Anderson and Titus Howard and other guys, trying to get a feel for it. Obviously, he's playing a new position. He's never really been a right tackle, so it's an adjustment for him. But I think he's handled it really well, and I think he's going to be a good player for this team. Number two, Jake Andrews, who's likely going to be this team starting center. He was picked up in May, so I don't think most people thought he was going to be a guy that was going to come in and start. But he's done a good job. I think the units when he was at center compared to Jarrett Patterson have just looked better for the first team. I know there was maybe some miscues from him today. Kind of an adjustment, playing somewhere else, different situation. But I think he's done a good job, and I think he's handled the center role well. And I know he's a Cole Popovich favorite, so he definitely seems to be the favorite at that center position. And I think he will improve the run game, especially over a guy like Jarrett Patterson. And number three, I'm going to go Jalen Thomas. I know Jalen Thomas isn't really a guy that most people have really heard a ton about. He's not a guy that maybe all that well, but he's a guy that in college and through the NFL has played all five positions on the offensive line. He played center for the Ravens and the Giants a couple years ago. He played guard and tackle at SMU in college. He's a very good pass protector, and he's gotten rotated in a little bit with the first team. I don't think he's going to be a first team guy, but I think he is an awesome guy to have as a backup who can play anywhere on the line. And if a guy gets hurt, which is inevitable on the offensive line. Someone's going to have an injury on the offensive line. You can plug him in at any spot. And he's done a pretty good job everywhere. He's a big guy. I think he's handled himself really well in camp, and I think he's made a case, maybe jumped over some of these guys like Ed Ingram or some of these guys that, were maybe the favorites to kind of make one of these last roster spots where D'Amico said they're going to probably keep 9 guys. He might be this 8th or 9th guy that has a ton of versatility on that line, and he's only 25.